test my luck. Happy Friday. It's
Happy
Casey
Friday.
and Kara with Create Captivate. And today's 5-minute-ish Friday episode is on brand strategy.
Yes, it is.
Because for the next several weeks, we are living in the world of brand identity and graphic design and feeding you all kinds of great, useful information, hopefully.
Yes.
To help you make sure that when you are establishing your company's brand, that you have all the resources and tools and education that you need to really make it successful.
Yeah.
So let's get started. Brand strategy.
Ooh, branding strategy. There are a few key components. You want to know your audience, your tone, your messaging, and then fourth, we'll go into the imagery of your branding.
Exactly. So when we talk about audience, a lot of people seem to have a misconception that this is more marketing. But when companies have an issue of getting good engagement on social media platforms or whatever digital platform that they're working on, it usually goes back to your brand, really, because a part of your brand should be your messaging and figuring out who you're talking to.
Right.
So how do you do that? What are some tools and things that maybe in our field it is standard to use that maybe the average small business person doesn't know about? One of those would be customer personas. If you were in our workshop yesterday, Facebook for Beginners, I went on and on and on for quite some time about using customer personas. This is a tool that the advertising agency has used for years, decades upon decades, and it really works. So we try and educate our clients on how to use this tool. So a customer persona is something that you use on the back end. People always ask, like, is this like a profile that I put out into the... No.
Just for you.
Not. Yes.
Personal.
Just for you.
The back end.
They are something that you go through and you look at. You can use, if you've already been in business for a little bit, you can use some information, customer-driven data that you've had and is established. So you can think of your most dreamy client.
Oh, the most beautiful people.
I know do I know who you're thinking about over there? When you think of that dreamy client who was so easy to work with and it just meshed really well together. Hopefully most of your clients are that way, but it happens that they're not. So you want to think about the most dreamy client, the most ideal, who you want to connect with. We do not recommend that you try and promote yourself to the masses. Kind of a waste of time.
And that is a big misconception. A lot of people think that, you need to really promote yourself to everyone in every single category. Not actually the case.
Right. So you want to talk to that very specific individual. And most businesses will have maybe 3 or 4 kind of typical clients that they'd want to connect with that kind of cross different demographic sections. So we say write 3 or 4 personas. And when we say write personas, I want to show you guys, I don't know if you can see this very well, but so this is our social media strategy workbook that you get for free. It's a 50-page workbook that comes for free if you come to our social media strategy workshop. And in here, we've actually got a whole section about knowing your audience. So this is a little worksheet we've developed to help you develop those customer personas. So it goes through different demographic information, such as name, you give them a fun name, gender, age, marital status, location, occupation, income. Do they have children? If so, what are their names and ages of the children? And just deeper and deeper and deeper.
Do they have pets? What values do they have? What are their hobbies? Different things like that. You want to get as descriptive as you possibly can.
And the key thing to focus on here are the challenges, the everyday challenges or their main primary challenges that they're experiencing at the moment.
The reason why they would come to you.
Right, exactly. What are those problems that you can solve for them with whatever product or service that you have? So this is a huge tool, and I could probably go on for a whole day just about personas. This is one of my favorite things to do for our clients.
It is. She gets very excited about it.
I love writing stories. I have a wild imagination. So when I give in the workshop my example for one of our personas,
She gives the most
people's
detailed,
jaws
crazy.
are like, you really wrote that they walk their Australian Shepherd Duke on the Elizabeth River Trail 3 times a week? And I'm like,
Jaws
yes.
drop, eyes go wild, and they go, do I have to create something that
No.
elaborate?
No, but the more specific you can get, the better.
It takes practice. It takes
It
practice.
does.
Simply setting aside some time to write these out, and as time goes on, your clientele of personnel might change, or
Right.
you might get more detailed over time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the longer you're in business, the better you know exactly who you want
Right.
to connect with. And it does take some practice, and it's not going to be everyone's jam or thing they love to do, but that's what we're here for too. Because I love this piece, and it's so important to go back to that and make sure that you're connecting with the right people.
Right.
Quality over quantity every day, all day.
It will save you time and money.
Definitely. So when you know who you're talking to, the next part of a brand strategy to focus on is the tone and voice of your message. So what can you tell us about tone and voice?
For tone, you want to think about how do you want your business to be taken by those personal personas that you've taken. Is your business serious? Is it lighthearted and fun? Is it, what is the tone of what you're trying to come across as to those people? If you're a doctor's office, a little bit more serious.
Right.
If you're a kid's store, you're going to be fun and lighthearted and, be kind of crazy and high
Right.
energy.
Exactly. Yeah. So people always ask though, like, what's the difference between voice and tone? And so the answer to that, really, the easiest answer I can give is voice is how you come across, no matter where you're being
Right.
promoted or where you're putting out any kind of message. Your tone can change from platform to platform.
Or situation
for-
to situation.
Right. So my example
Time
for
of
that
year.
is you wouldn't respond in the same manner to one customer who is raging mad or very sad about something as you would someone who's in a really good mood, just left you a 5-star review, or just bought your product for their daughter and like sent you a bunch of funny little memes or something
Right.
as a thank you. So you would respond in different tones to those, whereas your voice is more consistent and solid across all messaging
You've
and
used
platforms.
in your workshops before Facebook messaging as an example of this.
Yeah, so being on Facebook Messenger, when someone sends your business a message, you want to adapt your tone to however they've approached you. So if they are very serious and somber, you should not probably respond with a bunch of emojis and GIFs that are,
Sometimes you want to reflect their tone as well. And that's why we're saying sometimes your tone can be more fluid and fluctuate across the situation or the timeline or frame.
Right. So some tips and tricks to figuring out your voice and tone would be think of different descriptive words that if someone described your business as today, you would be so excited, like doing cartwheels, so excited. And then those words that you never want to be considered should be written down and documented somewhere too, so that you know exactly how you want to make people feel.
Be perceived.
Yep, exactly. So that comes together to really form that messaging. And messaging is a huge and important part of any brand strategy. To be able to convey and express really who your business is and what you do,
Right.
and really attract the most ideal clients possible.
To make some more money for you.
Hopefully. So when we have those different elements in place, we have our audience figured out and nailed down. We have our tone and our voice and our messaging all kind of on point. What does that help people do in the branding process?
It helps me to get a clear idea of what your image should be or what you want it to be or you want it to be perceived as. And the image of your business goes into your logo, your typography, the images that you'll select and use, and the content you will use for social media, because that's a big part of your marketing nowadays.
Right. Yeah, so all of those things come together and just form your brand. And this is your overall brand strategy of knowing who you want to talk to, how you want to talk to them, and in what style, overall style and design you're going to do that with.
Yeah.
So it helps Kara as a graphic designer understand the right color palettes, the right typography to use, all those key elements, the
That we
visual,
talked about last week.
right, the visual elements that we focused on in last week's video.
Yes.
So that's the basics of brand strategy in a nutshell. There's so much more to it, but this is we just want to
keep
give
it
you
light and just do an overall.
right, kind of a general overview so that you have that kind of foundational knowledge to really speak intelligently about it and have a conversation. And be able to, whether you're DIYing it or taking your business somewhere to a design studio or somewhere, making sure that you have the education you need and the kind of ideas
And kind of get
in
some
place already.
insight before you go and, like she said, look for a company.
Right.
It helps the company meet you halfway. It takes less time, it takes less energy, and you will get a clear image that you want and represents you.
Right, which who doesn't want that?
Everyone.
We want you to have exactly what you want and need. So that's what we're here to do. And I hope you enjoyed this week's brand strategy talk. We are currently, by the way, I have to talk about where we're at. Do you see this gorgeous photo behind us? So it's actually much larger than that. We are currently at Cova Insurance. And
They've graciously let us borrow their boardroom.
yeah, it's
Conference
beautiful in
room.
here. I might flip the camera around here in a second and kind of give you a little overview of what it looks
It's
like.
giving us great Parks and Rec vibes. Leslie Knope,
Yeah.
all those lovers.
It's a really gorgeous space. So we're just super thankful for Cova. Hey Meredith, she's giving us all the heart eye emojis right now. So Meredith invited us over here. We know her through BizConnect, and she has actually come through one of our workshops.
Yeah.
So when we were like, who has a pretty space we could use? Who wants a shout out? She invited us over here. So we're very grateful for the opportunity to come see their office and use this space today.
Yeah.
And they do insurance, and Meredith can give you more information if you need any kind of insurance at all. I think that she would be a great person for you to reach out to. So if you have more questions about brand strategy though, then hit us up. Leave those comments below. Send us a message to the page. We'll be happy to jump in and answer your questions.
And next week we will go over how to stay on brand and keep up with your branding guidelines and how to be consistent. Stick with it.
Right. And just, can I do a shameless self-promotion real quick too? So on July 17th at South University in Virginia Beach, I will be on a panel of brand experts, and we will be talking about personal branding, business branding, everything in between. And I hope that you guys will come out. It's free. You can go on Eventbrite and find the information. It's called Building Your Brand. It's from 5:30 to 7:30 in the evening. Please join us. It's free. Just sign up, show up. Network, engage, learn, and then they will feed you too. So that's always a bonus. So,
Always love
so we're going to keep focusing on branding over the next several weeks. So hope you come back and learn some more with us and bring your questions. We will be more than happy to
we might do that. We might, in between, halfway through, maybe before or after, maybe after the event, we'll do a Fri YAY based on questions that we get on our live. That'd be great.
She's so smart. I love her. All right. So, all right, everybody, have a great weekend.
Yeah, be on the lookout for upcoming workshops.
Yep. Upcoming workshops will be listed on our website. So join us for some of those if you can. And we'll
have a beautiful Friday.
See you soon.
Bye.